Hello, Internet. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it is, wherever you may be. Welcome back to Unsorted, the Lego podcast about bricks, life, and all the shite in between. Join the brickkeeper Sam Jones, Joe of Skynet Bricks, and myself, Cut the Kragle, as we delve into that rarely discussed decade that saw out the end of the 20th century, the 90s. Remember, this podcast is not safe for work and not suitable for children, so lock up your daughters, shoot your sons, and remember, when we're done, to always check your scrotum, because the boys are back and more rubbish than ever. Now, before we go any further, allow me to introduce to you my barely tolerable and distinctly unmemorable co-hosts. First up, he puts the bro in broken, the risk in frisky, and the goo in goodbye. He's American, and for that, we wish him all the luck in the world. It's Joe from Skynet Bricks!
Hey, yo, what's up, man?
How you doing, dude?
I heard we were talking 90s stuff, so I went and got my ball chain necklace. I got my my shirt unbuttoned and my hair down and my leather wrist strap, and I'm ready to listen to some Alice in Chains and some Nirvana, baby.
You do look like you've just stepped out of some sort of beach shop in the 90s, and,
yeah.
trying to sell me some cheap marijuana.
Listen to some Nickelback.
You probably just picked up some shavings from somewhere someone's cut their lawn and just rolled it up in paper and hey man, you gotta try this.
Hey man, this is the sweetest stuff, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you see this fellow, do not buy drugs from him. I mean, not that I'm condoning buying drugs anyway, but definitely don't buy it from this man.
Don't buy it from me, yes. Yeah, I would love to relive the 90s where I was a nerd in high school. Anyway, how you doing?
Yeah, I feel like we look back on the 90s probably with more rose-tinted glasses than the 80s,
Yeah.
I mean, the 80s, we were still children, I feel like. So, that it's fair that we kind of look back at that. But the 90s, that was going into sometimes.
Yeah. We also had hope in the future.
I mean, I was a child in the 90s as well, but you know what I mean? It was the twilight of my childhood.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Anyway, before we get into the heavy stuff, we've got to do it. We've got to bring him in. This is a threesome, so we can't leave him out in the cold much longer.
I know.
And what really can I say about our last co-host? He is, without a shadow of a doubt, an absolute continuing source of inspiration to me. He's big, he's beautiful, and this time is check best clear, or I'm editing this bit out. It's the Brickkeeper, aka Sam Jones.
Sam Jones.
Hello, good evening, everybody. And yes, the check will clear this time, Kragle. Trust me.
Oh, good, because last time I had to pay postage for something that you sent to me.
Well, that's because we included all the little extras that you got in there.
Yeah, well, why you thought I would need an extra ball gag, I don't know. I've got plenty of my own.
Wow.
I know, well, we're trying to think outside the box, whether it was ball gags or condoms you needed, or I just weren't sure.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I just don't like the fact that you guys live 3 hours from each other, if that.
And I still have to post something. I can't just drive.
I know, seriously, just far enough away that you're like, should I drive? Nah, I'll just mail it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, effort.
Effort, yeah.
The novelty of being Sam's friend wears off when we have to actually, meet in person.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I mean, yeah. You see me in person, you're like, God, does not live up to expectations.
Nope. No, actually, you looked exactly what I thought you sounded like. So,
an idiot.
Yeah. a balding British man. I mean,
Yeah, but you saw him when he was still cuddly. Now you just get paper cuts when you try and give him a hug.
ooh, gross.
Don't make me hug you, Joe. I will cut you.
Ooh. That gets me all kinds of giggly inside. Dude, I can't stop looking at how 90s I look right now. This is hilarious. I'm like,
I mean, honestly.
I know. I am aware that I can see your eye line flickering to see where you are on the screen.
I'm like,
that hair is something else.
I should have gone. He puts the van in vanity or something.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like I really care. Do I need to start acting like a Gen Xer? Like, yeah, man, whatever, man.
Oh, don't. I can't even get on with all these different gens.
I know, right? Whatever.
It confuses my parents that I'm technically a millennial.
Yeah.
And they're like, you were born in the 80s.
No,
I'm like, yeah, I know.
yeah.
It doesn't go from when you were born. It goes from when you became of age.
Yes.
You know, like.
Yeah, technically, I'm on the older side of millennials. An elder millennial.
Exennial.
Yeah, whatever.
Whereas, funny enough, Sam is barely a millennial.
I know. Yeah.
Sam lives in his own little world, his own little timeline. We don't.
That
Yes.
is 100% true. I do live in my own little world, and I don't give a fuck.
Well, anyway, I do have something for us to do before we get stuck into the topic, the theme of today.
Okay.
Which, you know, is a super unique theme that we haven't done before or even come close to covering. So, maybe it's time for Joe to ask the question.
Oh, is it that time?
What time would that be?
Is it time for... It is. It's time for the goddamn game.
It's time for the goddamn game. And today,
Bring it on.
we are bringing back something which I know you all loved last time.
Oh, no. Did I, though?
We are bringing back Answer Smasher.
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck. I sucked at
I
this
sucked
last
at
time.
this, too.
No, you didn't. You scored more points than me. You scored double what I did.
Hey. As someone who's been friends with you both for a long time, I can say that you're both equally good at sucking.
Suck hard, suck long. Okay, anyway.
The swallowing part, well,
Yeah.
you know, well, that's a contest for another time.
Okay.
I was going to say, that's the best compliment I've had all day.
I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
So, for those of you who don't know Answer Smasher, I'm going to ask 2 questions.
Okay.
One Lego related and one that might be Lego related. It might just be a general knowledge question. And what you have to do is take both answers and smash them together
To get a single answer.
into a single answer.
Okay. And I'm...
So,
I
forgot to create an
right.
example question, so we're just gonna have to go with it. But you guys have played this before.
Yeah. I also I also closed the comments section, so I can't even be accused of cheating.
So you can't cheat this time. Yeah, feel free to play along in the chat.
Yes.
That is definitely proven to be helpful to Joe in the past.
Or unhelpful.
Right
Okay.
then, here we go. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Which Nordic European country is Lego from?
Got it.
Who is the CEO and co-founder of Facebook?
Denmark Zuckerberg.
I think Sam got there just before you, Joe.
I'll concede that.
It is
yes.
Denmark Zuckerberg.
Oh, that sounds horrifying.
Right?
It sounds terrifying.
That's not someone that you really want to cross paths with, is it?
I know.
No, definitely not down a dark
It's
alley.
like
Okay.
It's like a cheap European knockoff of Indiana Jones. It's Denmark Zuckerberg.
Denmark Zuckerberg is Trump's new head of European relations.
Oh God.
He's gonna raid yours. He's gonna raid you.
Oh no.
Right then. Okay.
Okay.
So hopefully those of you who are new to this game will get the idea now.
Yeah.
So we obviously Denmark is the answer to the first question. Mark Zuckerberg is the answer to the second. Smash them together, you get Denmark Zuckerberg. Okay.
And look at their
And so far, Sam's got the first point.
horrifying inbred children that pop out.
Which Disney character that never grows up first appeared as a minifigure in 2016? And when an infectious disease spreads quickly across a wide region?
Peter Pandemic.
Yes! That was quick. Well
That was
done.
quick.
That's not
Well
the first
done.
time Joe's hit that in his
Yeah.
lifetime.
I know. He heard it last night.
Wait,
Peter
what is that supposed to mean?
It's Valentine's Day,
Oh,
Joe.
okay. And I am
Wait, what was
I am
yesterday?
some sort of disease, right? Is that what you're saying? Oh boy.
Right, so Peter Pan was a Disney character that never grows up, that first appears as a minifigure in 2016. Bonus point. Can either of you tell me what he first appeared in 2016?
No idea.
Was it the Disney Castle set?
It wasn't, no, it was the Disney CMF Series 1.
What does CMF mean?
Collectible
I
minifigures.
know. All I hear is blender fodder. That when I hear CMF.
I can deduct points, Joe.
Okay. Anyway, keep going.
Next one. Which UCS starship was formerly the largest Lego set available? Which supersonic airliner was made into a Lego set in 2023?
Oh. Execu Concord?
Nope.
Okay. Just like I said.
Sam? It is. The last one's Concord.
Uh-huh.
But
I'm surprised. I thought this one you would both be straight
Ah!
on it.
Yeah, Joe's just got it.
Millennium Concord.
Concord.
Millennium Concord.
I don't know which one of you got
Millennium
that first. then.
Concord.
No.
Millennium Falcon Cord.
Yes.
Millennium
You got-
Falcon Cord? No. That sounds
Yeah, because it's the
stupid.
Con in Falcon and
Oh.
the Con in Concords. So the point there goes to Sam. That's
I think
2-1
the
to
bit that
Sam.
tripped me up was the formerly, and I'm there going, is it something older?
Well, now the Coliseum is the largest set available now.
Yeah.
Right. But they are
Yep.
still making
So Millennium Falcon Cord.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but that is kind of it is a little awkward to me, but you know. Okay.
It's not meant to be unawkward.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are we doing? What are we doing if we're
What
trying not to
90s
be...
sitcom starred Will Smith as a teenager sent to live in LA? And which martial art is Ninjago set 70751 a temple of?
Oh.
I
don't know any of the Ninjago
I don't know
sets,
Ninjago at
but
all.
I've got the first one hands
Yeah.
down. I used to watch that on BBC Two at 6 o'clock every night.
Me and one of my friends in the chat here, we grew up in Bel Air, Maryland, but not California.
There's one. There's more than one Bel Air.
There is. There's one in Maryland.
Oh,
That's
wow.
where I grew up. So, I see. I don't know Ninjago, man. Like I don't know it at all.
I'm gonna have to pass.
Yeah, I have.
Anyone in the chat? No. Anyone in the chat want to help them?
I don't know Ninjago at all. Bel Air Jiu-Jitsu. Fresh Prince of Bel Air Jiu-Jitsu. Okay.
You did not quite get it. I can't accept it. Sam, do you want to have a go?
Fresh Prince of Bel Air Jitsu.
Yes.
Bel Air Jitsu? That's what
You were added in Jew for some reason. I don't know
Jitsu.
why.
You went jujitsu rather than just jitsu.
Okay. All right. I
Fresh
said
Prince of Bel Air Jitsu.
Bel Air Jitsu. Okay.
So that's 3-1.
Oh man.
I'd
For
like
Sam
to
so far.
give. Can I give half a point to Jacob Neely for the assist?
He can have an extra point. So it's 3 to Sam, 1 to Joe, and 1 to the audience.
There we go. Yeah.
Well,
That's fair.
technically 2 to the audience, because I just seen that Jacob actually got Peer Pandemic as well. So, Joe, you're actually coming third. In this.
Oh my god.
The audience are beating you, Joe.
Okay, I think this is the last one now. So,
Okay. Is this for the win or is this for?
this is just for
This
you to
is for
try and
pride.
regain some dignity.
I don't have any of that. What are you talking about?
What system in a shop can customers choose their own assortment? Which retired theme was based around small brick-built creatures?
Pick a brickhead?
No, but you know what? I'm actually going to give you a point
Oh,
for that because that's
okay.
quite a cool one.
Pick a brickhead?
That works, but that's not the one I'm thinking
Okay.
of.
Which retired theme was based
I
on
like that.
small brick-built creatures?
The top one isn't necessarily a Lego question,
Okay.
but I like it because your one does work. It does answer both those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Choose their own assortment.
I've got that bit.
Okay. That was my final answer. My brain is.
I mean, technically, I'm wondering if I should have given you that point because it does say retired theme, and Brickheads isn't retired.
Brickheads
but you
is
know what?
definitely
No,
not retired.
I'll let you have the points because I did like that answer. But Sam, do you know the actual answer?
No, all I've got is the first bit, mate, to be honest.
What's the first bit? A la carte?
No, pick a mix.
Pick a mix. Huh. Yeah, I don't know, man. You stumped me on this one, except for what I said earlier. Yeah. Which
Pick and Mixels.
Mixels?
Oh.
Okay, to be fair, we don't
Never
use
heard
the
of
we
them.
don't use the term pick and mix in the States. That would have stumped me.
Really?
Yeah. No. Sorry.
Wait, I'm gonna have a quick Google of that
Okay,
because I swear
okay.
I've had Pick and Mix whilst I've been in the States.
Mixel and match. David Austin says mixel and match. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pops America has Pick and Mix.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a regionalism. I've never.
Zap Sweets in USA also has Pick and Mix candy.
Okay.
So it does exist in America.
It probably does
Malvern
exist,
Sweets,
but
Pick and Mix.
yeah. Anyway,
So
okay. Well,
so,
Sam won. So
you're not bitter at all.
sorry for being so boring on that last one because I'd never heard of
It
it.
doesn't have it in the States. Proceeds to then deny the existence of various places that have it in the States. So
Pick
yeah,
a
the
Mix
final
was
scores
first
then.
sold in the US.
Right, you ready for this? We got I'm trying to build some jeopardy here. We've got to count the final scores now.
Of course,
okay? So,
yeah.
First up, the audience have 2 points.
To be fair, it's Jacob Neely has 2 points.
Then, also with 2 points, one of which was a bonus point because I like the answer, even though it wasn't correct, is Joe Chambers.
Yay.
But in first place, with amazingly 3 points, it's Sam Jones.
Whoa!
Who would have seen that
It's
coming?
me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did a thing.
You did a thing.
You did a thing, Sam. Good job.
Yeah.
Great job.
I also, as my acceptance of my greatness speech, I'd like to first point out that Pick a Mix was sold in the US in 1886 and then was brought to Britain based on its success in America.
Okay.
So it's actually American in origin.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's type 2 diabetes, but we don't talk about that.
We don't brag, no.
Diabetes. Okay.
Well, folks,
Speaking of which,
we've had our fun.
speaking of
Now
which,
it's time.
as a joke, Emily and I went out and bought the it was just a joke, so I'm giving it a try. The Mountain Dew hard seltzers. We found a box of them.
Oh,
They are the literal definition of why. I'm not enjoying this at all.
You don't have to finish it if you don't like it.
But I have
You
to.
can tip it.
I have to. I opened
Without
it.
a sink. Oh,
No,
Joe,
don't.
I worry about you sometimes.
Yeah, no, I thought it would be hilarious. There's no caffeine in it, and I'm just like, why? Why did I do that? Why do I keep punching myself in the face? Okay, keep going. I'm gonna try to get through this. Surprisingly,
Sam, man, how are we getting on with arranging that therapy for Joe?
surprisingly, it starts tasting better as you drink more of it. Hey, this tastes really good. Hi guys, bye. Oh, our we have some really good advice from chat. David says you could always put the Mountain Dew hard seltzer in the blender. It might help break down the minifigure bits. I think
And
you're
goodbye,
right.
David.
I think you're right. I could do that. Just drink Mountain Dew or a hard seltzer, or mix them in your mouth. Honestly, man, it would be better. Yep. Anyway, Kragle, please proceed.
Sorry, Kragle.
I'm not sure I want to now.
I know this stuff hits hard. Anyway,
I was going to say we've had our fun. Now we've got to get down to the serious stuff, and that is Lego 90's.
okay.
Now, it's not a topic we've ever discussed before, if my memory serves correctly, but it is something the Lego themselves are thinking about, because I don't know if either of you are aware of this, but there has been an ongoing Lego Ideas Challenge, Build Your Nostalgia 90's Throwback.
Interesting.
So they did one for the 80s, and now they're doing one for the 90s. I think this is on like the second phase. So initially, you had to submit builds based on 90s TV shows and films and stuff like that. And then what happened is, out of those ones, Lego picked, I think, 5.
Okay.
That they're now asking you to vote on. So it's a bit weird because, from what I gather, people were commenting and giving a thumbs up maybe to the sets that they liked.
Okay.
There's 195 entries altogether.
Holy crap!
But I don't think that the comments, not there was no likes, they were just comments. The comments didn't really have that much say in what got picked for Lego to go to the final stage.
Independence Day. Nice.
So you can see on here, there's a lot of stuff that, including a Stargate War poster.
Tremors. There is a Tremors. The Addams Family, Independence Day.
Wow.
The Fifth
Truman
Element.
Show.
The Fifth Element, one of the weirdest movies from the 90s, but fucking awesome. Cowboy Bebop. Animaniacs, Cowboy Bebop, Free Willy.
I really quite like these figures, gotta be honest. It's a shame they didn't get
awesome.
But no Tiny Toons, huh? I was more Tiny Toons than Animaniacs.
Yeah. Oh, there was another Stargate one as well.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't know anything about Lego Stargate.
No, of course not.
No.
The Iron Giant.
Yeah, so there was some really cool entries in here.
Gump.
And what Lego's done is, I think they've pinned it down to ones that they would consider making.
Okay.
And now it's up to the fan votes. But I want to have a quick look at the 195, just as we are now skimming through, because there's a lot of good stuff in here that sadly hasn't made it through to the next stage. And what I've been hearing from people is that there was an assumption, perhaps, that Lego would look at the ones that had the most comments and support on that way. So you couldn't vote on
Okay.
these, but you can see people were able to comment on them. Now, the ones that have been selected have got a lot of comments, but apparently there are some that had more. I mean, yeah, it's a bit. It's one of those things where I guess Lego know which ones that they think they can get the license for, or that they, I think that they could reasonably release in terms of,
Yeah.
the
Twister.
price point they're looking at and stuff like that.
Oh,
But it does beg the
man.
question then of why they weren't more specific with, the criteria for these
Yeah.
builds.
I mean, they've got
Because you can see,
Twister,
like,
Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Oh man,
yeah,
this is Edward Scissorhands. Tailspin. Hell yeah, Tailspin. I would watch that show like crazy. Men in Black.
my wife didn't know what Tailspin was when I first met her.
What?
When we went to Disneyland Paris and went into like one of the shops there, and they had like the Tailspin characters hanging overhead. She didn't know what they were.
What do
She
you?
knew DuckTales, but she didn't know Tailspin.
Tailspin. That plane. I loved that plane. The Sea Duck. Like, because you know me, I'm all into airplanes and whatever. That show, I would come home and watch Tailspin and Chippendale Rescue Rangers like every single day.
Oh yeah.
That
Well,
and
we've talked at length
Yeah.
about Chippendale on the old Unsorted.
yeah. Yes, we did. The Mummy. Hey, Neely, you looking at all these, man? The Mummy. Fucking. Where's
Oh, I like
Rachel
the look of
Weisz?
it.
Where's? Oh, there she is. Okay. I thought
I
they
like
were.
the look of that one.
Yeah, I thought they
because-
were missing Rachel Weisz, but there she is. She's there.
Mate, you're saying her full name a lot. Have you got a thing?
No,
other thing?
no, of course
No?
not. No,
No?
I don't.
You okay?
I haven't watched Enemy at the Gates a dozen times.
You okay there, Joe?
Maybe.
You okay?
Maybe. Hey AJ,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna,
That would have been seriously badass. That Mummy set.
AJ,
Yeah,
I'm not
the
going to
fact
argue
of it,
with you
Joe.
on that one. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you.
Oh
on
my
that
god,
one.
another Stargate one.
Oh my days! Get
Yeah.
a room.
More Truman Show.
Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
Oh wow!
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of
Captain
themes here.
Planet, he's a hero.
Gonna
Gonna
take
take
pollution
pollution
down
down
to
to zero.
zero.
We're still fucking waiting, Captain Planet.
Yeah,
Come on now, Plastic Island.
seriously.
Oh,
When the fuck are you gonna sort that out, Captain Planet?
Yeah, you
The
loser.
Iron Giant.
The Iron.
Look at
So I'm
that.
seeing a lot of common themes here. Edward
Yeah, there
Oh,
are.
it's
Scissorhands.
swallowed.
What?
I mean, how many have we counted for Edward Scissorhands? About 8 now.
Edward Scissorhands, The Iron Giant, Captain Planet, The X-Files, Jumanji. I've seen multiples of all of those. Animaniacs. Yeah.
Another Tailspin.
Another Tailspin. These are all
There's like
great.
two Buffy the Vampire Slayers right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess then that also comes down to
Wild Wild West. Nobody liked Wild Wild West. Come on. The Dumb and Dumber Mutt Cuts van. Yes.
I guess it comes down to that question again, though. It's like before when they had a Lego Ideas round, and there was 2 Ghostbuster projects, and one got selected and one didn't, and it was kind of like,
Yeah.
ooh, how did you pick which one? You know?
Yeah. I'm seeing lots of Jumanji. Like there are 3 on this screen
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Edward
I
Scissorhands.
believe
Was that really
that you could only do
popular?
1 entry. I think
Okay.
because some of them are very similar. I'm looking at a glance here, so correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But I don't think that there's like multiple entries by the same person. But
No.
yeah, some of these are
Baywatch.
eerily similar.
Oh, there he is.
What?
Fucking dickhead with his another Stargate.
No,
Sorry.
another Stargate. Yep.
But it's not just another Stargate. It's dickhead.
It's Dickhead. What do you mean?
Oh, there's a whole
a rivalry.
You remember?
there's
him.
a whole
Oh.
Studgate saga. You got to be up
You
on
remember him.
Okay.
the Brickkeeper lore for this one.
The freaking law. That's joint law between you and me, mate.
That is, yeah. I
Oh,
will say that build looks better than it was before.
Okay.
But,
Well,
and,
actually, it's a natural, real build for a start, rather than a
So-
CG just from studio or something
Yeah.
like that.
So I'll give Stargate one thing. The Stargate
Oh.
movie is that it then proceeded to lead to Independence Day. Unarguably the greatest movie of the 90s, Independence Day.
Do you know that film is like Space Time's favorite film of all time?
What
he
is?
loves it.
Yeah,
Independence
I'm
Day?
trying to convince him like to open up a PO box so that everyone can just send him copies of like I think he's going for the world record of how many copies of Independence Day on DVD one person can own.
Will he accept Blu-ray as well?
Yeah, why
knows?
not?
He'll only
HD DVDs, Betamax.
He'll accept VHS. He'll even accept Beta and Laserdisc.
Look at this. I gotta be honest. I quite like this.
That's nice as well.
Hook. Yeah.
I really do have a fond spot for Hook. I know that it was like one of Spielberg's rare misfires in terms of box office, but
Laserdisc.
Rufy. Oh,
yes.
Just in response to David
good.
Austin's comment there, yes, I did see a Wayne's World set. Not sure if it was just a basement, but there was definitely something from Wayne's World further up near the top. But this set currently is just beautiful.
Yeah, this Hook set is really good.
I like this.
Yeah,
it's giving me nostalgia because I remember watching that film quite a lot as a kid.
Well, and wasn't it a kind of a just a hit and a miss? Wasn't it just like it?
Oh yeah, it was a big loss for Steven Spielberg
because
I
they
think it was one
spent
of,
so much on the production, and it did okay. It just did not earn as much as its production, and yet everyone our age, even if you didn't like it back then, you're just like, oh, Hook, yeah, such a weird movie, but cool.
It's one of those things where I know, like, I was shocked because obviously, when this came out, the internet wasn't widely available and it wasn't as mainstream as it is now. I was shocked to find out that this film is regarded as being a bad movie because when it came out, in the playground when I was a kid, everyone loved Hook.
That's
it was a big deal.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, come on, it had Phil Collins cameoing as a detective. Come on, what more can you ask for? Bob Hoskins, and Dustin Hoffman playing me and Captain Hook as a thinly veiled gay couple.
Yes. Bob Hoskins' performance in this movie is one of the greatest acting performances of the 90s. Thank you very much. I don't care what you say. Bob Hoskins and Hook.
I will not be taking any further questions.
Awesome.
It's a great film,
I think I just had an apostrophe. I think you mean an epiphany.
I will say it is the rare occasion where I don't find Tinkerbell sexy, though. Mrs. Kragle will back me up on this, and I will fully admit to it that I do have a bit of a Tinkerbell fetish.
I 100% agree with you. This is the one time I don't find Tinkerbell at all attractive.
No, I think she's too much of a tomboy. I know it's Julia Roberts, who everyone's like, hey, it's Pretty Woman, but sorry. No, she's fine in it, but
He does. Thank you, Mrs. Kragle. Mrs. Kragle, do we also need to talk about his latent crush on Velma and Gadget? Because I agree with him.
I mean, come on, the cartoons we grew up on, they very clearly define the type of women that we go for.
Yeah.
What, Jessica Rabbit?
Oh, there is this the same run through you're doing there, Kragle?
No, I think it's shuffled them. I think.
I was going to say because that's a different set there, but from the same guy.
Oh yeah, that is actually a different one, isn't it?
Huh. Yeah, because that's the original one that you and I.
Well, yeah, part of it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's shuffled it. But anyway, what I wanted to. Oh, it's not. Let me go on to it now. Right.
Unicorn Doris says Tinkerbell OnlyFans ? Sure.
Take my credit card details.
Take my. Oh,
right.
Okay. So
here we go. Here's what I was trying to look for. These are the 5 that have made it into the fan vote. So first up, I'll go for the names of them, then we can look at them in more detail. So we have the X-Files. The Truth Is Out There.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Scissorhands.
Okay.
Jumanji 1995. The Fifth Element book, nook, and play set,
That looks
and
awesome.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer library.
Oh.
So we'll have a look at this one first of all.
Okay.
The X-Files. The truth is out there.
I love it.
I like it.
I love it.
I loved X-Files.
I did too.
Absolutely loved it. And that, I like the idea of having a set like that, like we saw with the Mummy one earlier, where you've got this display item on top, but then you've got something else happening underneath it that you can either hide or reveal.
Yeah.
It's a great idea of doing things.
It reminds me of my Lego Ideas project that got rejected without being even accepted on a website.
Bitter.
Which was Scott Pilgrim versus the World, where it was display of Gideon's pyramid from the final act, and inside then was the bunker where Scott Pilgrim lived. And I wasn't even allowed to put that on Lego Ideas because Scott Pilgrim versus the World was deemed inappropriate. And then looking through this and seeing some of the IPs on here, I mean, even X-Files, let's be honest, X-Files was, and this was a recurring motif, if you will, through the 80s and 90s. X-Files was one of those things that was clearly designed for a younger audience, but was made age-wise in terms of like, you know, violence and content at an older age. It was one of those programs that you weren't supposed to watch, but it was clearly marketed at your age. It was marketed for the young teenagers, even though when it came out on VHS, it was like a 15 or an 18, depending on how gruesome the episodes were. It was one of those shows that
it was definitely
you talk about. Like, it was a big thing. Like, oh, did you watch X-Files? Oh, yeah, it was so good.
No. Oh, I had a friend at school who he was really quiet, kind of a, he didn't really speak up all that much. But the one thing he and I talked about every Monday was like, yeah, you watched the episode last night? Hell yeah. And we would talk about X-Files. And then one of my biggest memories or favorite memories from the 90s was the creators of the X-Files then made another show called Space Above and Beyond, which was about an intergalactic war with some aliens. And I loved that show so much. And it was by the same people and it had kind of the same feel of kind of like, kind of subversive, kind of anti-authoritarian, but like action-packed and lots of sci-fi space battles. So like these two are just like intricately linked in my mind. By the way, Space Above and Beyond only got one season, and boy, I got to find that on something, Blu-ray, DVD, anything, and just watch how bad it is. But
watch how bad it is.
I know, seriously.
Yeah, David Austin says, I bet a lot of the instructions for this would be scrubbed out with a lot of black Sharpie, like big pages of the instructions redacted. Yeah, I mean, I think the 90s was that there was a lot of like UFO, gray alien fever going around.
I feel like it was.
I mean, I love the Easter eggs. Oh, this episode freaked me out. What was the one that like the guy with the red eyes that you could crawl through vents and stuff? He come out like every 1,000 years or something, was it, or every couple hundred years, and you go into like a lava state.
I can't remember it, but yeah, I like barely remember that.
Yeah, there's loads upon loads of Easter eggs just in Mulder's office. That section of it alone.
Yeah. Isn't
this would be a really fun build?
Isn't this like just the American version of Doctor Who?
Not even close.
Not even close. Okay, no, I'm kidding. I
love the Bigfoot hiding in the trees.
Yes,
well.
I love that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, someone did point out. David pointed out, would the X-Files set come with dramatic lighting? The lighting does do a lot for this set.
Yeah.
I still think it would look good anyway, but yeah.
I just can't believe how much there's an increase of price for a Lego set that has a light in it, just a single LED light in it, or how much
the photography. I don't know if this is actually like built or these are renders, but I love the aesthetic of these photographs. Look at the thumbprint on there.
Yeah.
They did.
I feel like this is a really good render. I feel like someone's used like high-end Blender or something to do this because look at that.
Look at that.
Interesting.
Yeah, cigarette smoking man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the smoking man. I hope the smoking man's in this one.
It was just one of the. And you know what? I honestly feel like it was so. This is definitely of its time
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the format of the show, where it was very episodic, very each episode one and done, and you had sprinklings of like overarching
An
stuff,
overarching
with the aliens.
story. Yeah.
And once it started going too bogged down with that, that's when it went off the rails and went shit.
Mm.
Wait, when what happened?
Once it got too into like the whole thing with the aliens and with
With the movie?
Mulder's sister and the cigarette
Yeah.
smoking man and that the treaty and it just
It
But yeah, this is a gorgeous set. My concern for this would be, previously with Lego Ideas, these would all be printed pieces.
yeah.
Now we just
Exact-
we
yeah.
get the biggest sticker sheet going. I mean, to be fair, even on this one, you can see that is actually a sticker. So
Yeah.
they've been quite realistic with this.
Yeah. I don't know.
I would
it's
love to
really
have.
good.
I would love to have. I Want to Believe as a print, though. I hope
Uh-huh.
they would at least do that as a print.
Fox Mulder. I love it. Okay. Quick, go to
Cool.
the next one before I decide to make a copy of this.
Yeah.
So the next one we have, I should say that was by
So-
Wet Wired. The next
So,
one is Edward Scissorhands by Castor Troy.
I never really got into this movie. It just wasn't my thing. I watched it later in life, and like I was like, oh, this is very much what's his name who made this
Tim Burton, wasn't it?
Tim Burton. Yeah, I was like, this is very much his style, but it's like early in his career, so he doesn't have the money to do all the crazy things he wants to do. Such a weird movie, but yeah, interesting.
Mm. Again, looking at this initially, it's a great set. There's so much detail going on, even just on that front. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got the lovely looking rocks, you've got the trees. I've got a thing for rocks at the moment. I'm building the Rivendell set, and
Yeah,
that's got some good rocks.
yeah.
Hopefully, it's giving you some inspiration for Trenzalore.
It has.
I mean, the one thing I will say going against this is that it is, and I don't want to use the word just, but it is another castle. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Okay.
castle stuff coming at the moment, particularly for the Bricklink designer program as well.
Yeah.
I mean, funnily enough, when I think of Edward Scissorhands, I don't think that much of the castle. I think more of the town that he goes and lives with.
Mhm.
The perfect town where everyone's all kind of like a facade and they're all like colorful and stuff, and he contrasts against that, in the black
Yeah.
and white motif. It's a fine set. Does this excite me the way that that's quite cool, having the trans clear minifigure
Yeah.
for the ice sculpture,
Yeah.
which Lego won't
Interesting.
do. And I had a trans clear minifigure which got thrown out.
Oh,
Anyway,
no.
yeah.
You know all about that, Joe.
Uh-huh. What?
Yeah, you were there.
But yeah, it's a fine build. I almost feel like if they were going to make this, they would definitely downsize it. Just the rock platforming alone
Yeah.
that supports the castle, that would have to go. I think they would have it just flat.
So I think castles are very popular within Lego, like you said, and I think it's a lot to do with the fact that Lego kind of really lends itself to building castles, bricks and stone and all that stuff. So like it's definitely not a talent I have in Lego to make like the randomized rock face like this shows, but I think they did a pretty good job with this set. Like it looks good. Is that
Yeah, I just noticed they've done like a little miniature build, like microscale build of the street
Yeah.
with 3 different color houses. I almost feel like I would prefer this if it was one of the colored houses with the juxtaposition then of
Yeah.
Edward against that in his in his black and white getup with pale skin and everything,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fine set. I think it definitely deserves to be here, but I don't myself feel like I'd rush out to buy this one.
Yeah. And David says, I agree with you. They might be taking the scissor hands a little too literally. They literally have scissors for hands.
I quite like how they've done that, to be
Yeah,
honest
yeah,
with
yeah.
you, but
No,
yeah.
it looks good.
So we saw that there was
Now-
many Jumanji ones on there. This is the one that's made it to
Yeah.
the fan vote. This is Jumanji 1995 by
Yep.
Brick Project.
See,
No-
now looking at that initially, that again,
That looks really good.
it looks beautiful. But my initial thought is it too complex?
I like that it's the board game, and inside the board game is
Yeah.
the house.
The house kind of pops open.
Yeah.
That I like. It's just that is it too complex to get past the ideas lot?
I mean, Lego have picked these 5.
Yeah.
These aren't the 5 with the most votes or most comments. These are the 5 that they've gone, right, okay, which out of these 5 do you want us to make? Now, obviously, we've seen before that, even if something gets selected, the final set can be sometimes very close to the fan design. Sometimes it can be virtually a completely different set. I'm looking at you, Pirate Bay.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at the Saturn V. It was very different from the Ideas one, but I'm still glad they did it.
But yeah, I don't really have any complaints about this set. I think it's neat that you have the board game aspect of it and you have the house. I think it's a good selection of minifigures.
What was it that the hunter guy always called the other Sonny Jim? That's what he would say. Neely, back me up on this one.
You do know that these bits will probably be stickers, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
The Jumanji board game rules on that.
Yeah. No, this looks really good. Honestly, if you were to ask me what one they are more likely to make, I think it would be this one. Like, not my favorite of the bunch, but I'm looking at it and I go, this seems more like something that they would actually pick and make.
Well, just
looking inside, the house is actually quite shallow, actually. Yeah. So this does feel more like an official Lego set because there's only like a couple of studs depth for the minifigures once you get past the facade of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just looking at some of the printed parts that are in use in here is stuff that's already available. So it wouldn't be new prints or anything like that for Lego, which is great for them.
Yep. And besides those big, those big texts on the side, which I think they could get away with doing as printed bricks.
I would love them as prints, but you know what?
But I'm looking at all this, and you're right, Sam. Like, a lot of this is just like standard bricks, no stickers.
I've just realized that's meant to be the lion. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
The lion that goes to sleep on the bed. I didn't get that first of all, but yeah, okay.
Okay, I'll have to say that lion is not very good, but okay.
No, that could be improved.
E for effort.
And of course, the monkey piece is currently retired. We don't have a Lego monkey piece like that anyway. I think that's from the old Indiana Jones one, but they could bring it back.
For sure.
Maybe.
The spiders. Oh, God, that spider scene still gives me the heebity-jeebities. But yeah, it all folds up. I mean, that's... Again, I'm not a big fan of, playability is not something I look for in a set, but like that's playable. Like you can open it up, you can take the house out. Like
it's got both play and display, which I like a lot.
Yes, yeah.
And I do like you said, that it can fold up in itself because, one of the things I used to think about Lego Ideas is like even Lego Kuso. When I had the DeLorean and when I had the Ecto 1, they used to go back inside the box. And it was like a premium style box, unlike just regular Lego sets, which they have fun tabs and they want you to just throw away afterwards. So this feels like a premium type set, a premium product,
Yeah, yeah. Again, from what we've looked at so far, I'd say this might be the one that they would go with because also it's a property that, I don't know, might be cheaper than the other properties. I don't know.
I don't know, because they have done 2 new Jumanji films, haven't they, with The Rock?
You're right, and the more recent ones were actually remarkably funny.
I liked the first one they did. The second one, I was kind of like,
okay,
you're stretching this a bit.
I didn't see the second one, but the first one I saw and was like, this is okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, AJ, I just saw your... I just saw your recent comment. Can't be having trans figures. It's too woke. Thanks, buddy. He's being sarcastic, I promise.
So yeah, we've had The X-Files: The Truth Is Out There by Wet Wired, Edward Scissorhands by Castor Troy,
Uh-huh.
Jumanji 1995 by Brick Project. This one, The Fifth Element Book Nook and Playset by Cubetaro. I'm probably saying that wrong, but
Yes.
this boggled my mind, to be honest with you.
This
The
looks
Fifth Element.
amazing.
How is The Fifth Element deemed appropriate for Lego, though?
There's nothing like a mid-90s sci-fi classic that has full frontal nudity in it and a baffling plot. But it also has what's his name? The actor.
Bruce Willis.
No, but the other one, the bad guy. What's his name?
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, Gary Oldman. This has Gary Oldman in it, so this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I love The Fifth Element. It is one of those films that just,
so
it's one of
weird.
those ones that just has that. It has that sort of world that is so it feels layered, and yet you barely spend any time in it, and then you're just done. But in terms of content, that I think this was, it might have been a 12, but it definitely was a sci-fi, actioner with Bruce Willis from the 90s. There's definitely some shots of boobage in them.
Yep.
Implied sexual references, a bit of blood and some lot of guns and stuff in it.
Yeah,
But Scott Pilgrim's not appropriate, y'all.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Multipass.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is like the least likely to be chosen just because of all the things that you mentioned. It is a bizarre and just brilliantly made movie. Like, just thinking back to it, I'm like, this thing was just an amazing film, but also so weird in such a fun way.
I feel like this build is weird. I love it. How it's just like this forced perspective, with the city.
Zorg, that was the bad guy's name.
Like, yeah, it's really strange, like how, as a concept for a set, that if you think, I'm going to do Fifth Element, you don't do any of the major action sequences. But I guess in all fairness, this was a shot that was used a lot in the trailers. I remember at the time was the shot of her jumping out, through
out of the window,
the pre-Coruscant flying car skyline into Bruce Willis's taxi. Yeah, George Lucas was taking notes that day.
Yeah. He's like, I need an action sequence for the beginning of. Wait, I'm sorry. I need an action sequence for the beginning of episode 2. I just watched The Fifth Element. I'll just copy off of that.
I mean, the taxi itself is just gorgeous build.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah. See, if you see the city like this when it's just laid out, it just looks a bit like, what of it? Oh, I just noticed they've got the 4 elements there as well.
Oh yeah,
it is definitely a layered build. It's just not something I would ever have considered to make.
Oh.
I didn't realize they had rooms inside, because there's the room where they bring her back from the hand they salvaged, right?
Yeah.
Yep. No, it's very detailed. Clever. It's forced perspective. Oh, there's Bruce Willis.
I gotta say, that is the least Bruce Willis looking Bruce Willis minifig I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, you can tell it's the 90s because they give Bruce Willis bleach blonde hair as well.
Bleach blonde hair. He just needed a ball necklace like this. Yeah. No, it's good. I like it. I just think it's probably the least likely to be chosen just because of how, like, the Zorg. That awesome.
Taxi is really well. The shape on that taxi is so good.
That is awesome.
I like how they're suggesting they've connected it as well to give it that idea of that it's floating.
Yep. It's a really clever build.
Yeah.
The more I look at it, the more I discover new stuff I just think, wow. I will say though, given that they gave Hut Slayer Leia shorts in the latest minifigure, Do you really think they're gonna do this minifigure where she's basically just in medical bandage tape to cover
Yeah.
up her particulars?
Yeah, her particulars. I love it. Okay. All the characters look great. It's great. But you're right. They're not gonna. As I talked about a couple weeks ago, there was only one set that had cleavage. So yes, when I was talking about that the island set, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Okay.
really seem to enjoy that. You took us on a wild rabbit chase for,
Oh, really?
Quite a while we went down there.
In case anybody
I do.
is-
I gotta be honest. The more I look at this set, the more I like it. Do I think it's likely to get made?
Probably not.
Probably not. It's
But-
interesting that they even Lego chose it to be one of the
Yeah.
the finalists.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. It is very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and what
lastly,
I've had many people ask me why don't I submit anything to Lego Ideas of everything I've designed. Very simple answer for you. It means I can't do anything with that design if I submit it. So if I'm spending the time for the very small likelihood that one of my space history or Star Wars things gets chosen, it's like I can't do anything with it. I can't make instructions. I can't sell it. I can't do anything. Lego owns it if I submit it at all. So
That's it.
these guys, all these people have submitted something that is near and dear to their hearts, and they are pretty much sacrificing that design to the world, to Lego. So get on you people. Like, awesome, but you'll never see it again. Do you have instructions for this? No, I can't make instructions. Oh, okay. Anyway, last one. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
we have Buffy the Vampire Slayer Library by VJW 1978. Now, I'm going to have to defer to you guys on this because I was one of those people who never got into Buffy. So,
well, I hate to say it. Same thing. I never got into Buffy, so I'm just... Oh, no, Sam.
Sam's mind has just been blown.
Sam, speak to me.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I am aware.
I never saw the appeal. I gotta be honest. She's not my bam. She's not my jam. She's not my bag. She's not my bam.
As we've talked about,
It was even worse when she
it's
had
Velma
red
and
hair.
Gadget.
It was even worse when they gave her red hair to play the role of Daphne in Scooby Doo.
You know, I actually quite like the Scooby-Doo live-action film, but the biggest crime in that is having Isa Fisher in that movie, a genuine redhead who looks like a real-life Daphne, and giving her a supporting cast role just so you can have Sarah Michelle Gellar in a wig.
Alongside her future husband.
And to be honest, I don't think I actually saw that Scooby-Doo movie. Like, I've seen plenty of bits and pieces.
I mean, you look like every extra ever in that movie.
Right? I'm sorry,
right
man.
now, yeah, you do. You got that surfer vibe in that film.
Come on, Scoob, let's go.
The casting for Shaggy, Matthew Lillard, honestly, fantastic. He now voices Shaggy now in most animation stuff.
And we've talked about this before a few years ago. Emily and I dressed up as Daphne and Shaggy, and we definitely looked the parts. Not Daphne, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, she strikes me more as a Velma.
She dressed up as Velma. I'm sorry. This Mountain Dew hard seltzers really hit my speech.
So, Sam, since you're the only one here who watched Buffy, do you want to talk us through this build? It's a library.
Yeah, it's a library from the campus, from the is it a high school or a college? One or two. Sunnydale, wasn't it? And yeah, it's fairly well detailed. It doesn't look like it's been built. I'm looking at that thinking that looks more like it's a rendering come out of.
That's definitely a rendering.
This is definitely a render, yeah.
And it's not that great of a rendering, really. Looks a little
No.
strange.
Yeah, I don't really want to hold that against people because
Yeah,
I've been criticized
absolutely.
before.
Yeah.
for criticizing people who don't build their mocks and just do renders, and I'm like, okay, fair enough.
The bit that's grating me at the moment, and I know Joe's a fan of some stud action sometimes, and sometimes he's not a fan of stud action. But
Yeah,
obviously,
baby.
that red is meant to be a carpet,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and I'm not a fan. I'm personally not a fan of having studs everywhere. Sometimes you got to smooth it out a little.
Yep.
Have
Yeah.
a bit of smooth with the rough.
Yes.
I
As
mean,
we all
just
know,
without taking
nipples
into
are only
the,
for one place, and everything else needs to be nice and smooth. Anyway, sorry.
without having any context to this in terms of how it looks, based on what it's supposed to represent. I just
Okay.
feel like it's a very bland looking thing. It's the shape of it does nothing for me. I get they've done this kind of circular thing, but
It's a very nice build technique from the looks of it. It looks very Lego doable. I mean,
yes, there's nothing here that I kind of feel like, oh wow, that is really clever. Kind of, where's the Fifth Element one? I was looking at it. The more I looked at it, the more I was like, wow, this has
and the,
been really cleverly put together. This feels
and the more
very within the realms of possibility. I don't look at this and go, I mean, I'm sure there are some cool techniques in there, but it just looks to me like something that, yeah, I can see that being easily built
Yeah.
within Lego.
There's a couple of bits here that strike me. First of all, you've got the whole Buffy was quite, I wouldn't say overly gruesome. It was had its moments where it was quite.
it was still TV safe, but
Yeah, it was still
Yeah,
TV
but
safe.
I am aware it was like X-Files, where it was one of those shows that was, sort of geared to sort of young teenagers, but really was made with, sex references and sort of like, monstrous makeup and stuff that wasn't age appropriate, but they knew their audience would watch it anyway. Their parents would let them get away with it or whatever. You'd stay up late to watch it or whatever.
That's it. So my first question there is Lego theme appropriate? Probably not.
sure.
But
Neither is Twilight.
David Austin mentioned that in the comments, as he said. As they
Yeah.
said, yes, why not to Twilight? Why not?
I mean, the one thing that I always got told. I remember when, like, one of my mates was heavily into Buffy, and he had like several posters of Sarah Michelle Gellar around his room. He'd come and try and tell me what was happening, and the only thing that I remember from those conversations is me going, "Wait, she slept with another vampire? Like, I must be misinterpreting Vampire Slayer. Is she just a vampire layer?"
Yeah, baby.
And that's what made it a good TV show.
Didn't she have sex with like at least 2 or 3 different vampires?
That's why I was very disappointed when I watched Game of Thrones, because I heard that there were dragon riders in it.
You got the wrong idea.
I was like, what the?
Like, isn't she
These
like
are
supposed
only
to, like,
humans.
murdering these vampires, not like doing the nasty with them?
Yeah.
That's what made it such a good show. She said, "Here are the rules. I'm just going to throw them out and do my own thing. I like you. I'm going to sit on your face."
Oh, I want you to suck some of my fluids. Maybe not blood.
Right in there. Get in there.
Get in there.
There's a joke here to be made about menstruating and
Nope. Nope.
I'm not gonna go there. I'll just leave that hanging.
You did. You went there, and I wish you hadn't.
But back to the set.
Yes,
I get your point of being bland, because the more I'm looking at it, there's nothing that really pops out at me.
No,
if that's the thing. Whereas
and the color scheme, I feel like, is very just drab, which again is probably accurate to the source material, but
exactly, it's very library. But I do, the more I look at this, I do get.
They haven't even done a design for this guy. Look, he's just a great
minifig.
And she's got a wand as a stake.
So
She's got a Harry Potter one piece
Oh
instead
my
of a wooden
God.
stake. I mean, that's probably what Lego would use, in all fairness.
So,
But
I mean,
so Sam, as someone who's watched this, like, is there enough reference? Are there enough references in this set to be like, oh yeah, this is totally awesome, Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Oh Jesus Christ, AJ!
Jack Francis has just said, tampons, a vampire's tea bag.
Good night, everybody. Good night. We're done. Let's.
I
just
mean, if
end
there
the
was a prize for
podcast.
comment of the stream, I think you just won it.
You've won.
Oh.
Jeez.
Okay,
I mean, can I
AJ.
ask a question?
When
Are
I
any of these characters, the 5 minifigures, are any of them actually vampires?
AJ, when I said you can come out and visit us at any time, that's rescinded. You stay in Utah. You stay there, okay?
I'm going to assume the one at the back left.
this guy.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that's meant to be Angel.
Okay.
Okay, now is
Um,
Angel an angel or is he a vampire?
Oh, I know this one. He's a vampire who retained his human soul, so he feels remorse for his victims.
Oh, okay.
Is that right? Did I get that right?
Kragle knows something. Yeah.
I only know that because Mrs. Kragle used to love watching a series called Bones, which again wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
He
And
wasn't
the
a-
actor was in that, and she used to tell me,
You thought it was
also
gonna
was
be-
Angel in Buffy, and he was a vampire who retained his human soul, so he felt remorse for his victims.
You
I was like,
thought
okay.
Bones was going to be about the journey of a man with diphalia with 2 penises, and he just had to show it off.
I just thought Bones was going to be a verb rather than a noun.
I just want to take a moment to say Bones is a great TV show. Yeah. It was great.
But I think the one that Kragle has proposed to would be a better TV show.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem like something you'd find on, Sky TV at any point or anything like that, or Fox. It's probably on some of those dodgy websites I keep hearing about.
Sure.
The one you sent me links to.
Yeah,
not
those
on
ones.
basic cable.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Okay.
I don't think this one's going to get made.
I don't think
No.
so either. I like take away all the references to the show. I don't know why this one was chosen.
I don't. And to be
it's-
honest with you, I don't feel like this is on the same level as the other 4 entries. No disrespect to the
Absolutely.
guy. He's obviously
Yeah.
put a
No,
lot
no,
of effort
no.
into it. But in terms of caliber, I mean, this
Mhm.
the example is the minifigures. The fact that they hasn't even given this guy any printing on his torso. He's just got a great torso. If that is Angel, I would expect it to have like an alternative face with like his. He has a vampire face, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
What is
because
a
if
vampire
I remember
face?
correctly, Buffy they ripped off Lost Boys with how the vampires' faces change when they have their fangs out.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing a picture of a Spike, and I was like, "Well, that's just like how the vampires look in Lost Boys."
I mean,
Okay.
now, yeah, where's Spike here? That's a simple minifigure that you could do. James Masters, bloody hell.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we're interestingly, and this is going on a dangerous tangent, but
Oh no.
There were other Buffy sets in there, and I wonder.
is this
How
the best
they-
one?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
that's good.
why was this one chosen? And you know what? It might just be a matter of because of maybe just the simplicity of the build. Maybe they're trying to put a
Maybe.
variety in there.
Or maybe they know which one they want, and they're trying
Yeah.
to guide you towards that one by
Yeah.
putting ones that you're not going to get
Again,
voted for.
Again, to the creator, it looks great. Like the fact that you got this far, that's awesome. It's a wonderful mock. I think it's really cool. I don't think it stands up to the rest of these. And that's not I'm not dissing the designer at all. I'm just wondering why this one was chosen over
Yeah.
some of the
Yeah.
others.
Yeah, if I saw this build, I'd be like, "That is a really cool build," and it obviously
Yeah,
took time to figure out.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't feel like it's in caliber, particularly with X-Files, Jumanji, and Fifth Element.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that in terms of building techniques, it's not that far removed from the Edward Scissorhand. The Edward Scissorhand is just large,
Yeah.
But
straightforward, but good.
particularly X-Files, Jumanji, and Fifth Element, they have some really interesting building techniques in there that make you go,
Yeah.
huh? That's really cool.
Yeah.
Make you think about.
I mean, we could have a quick look and see. Can you search these? Oh, you can't search them. I was going to see what the other Buffy ones were. There's another library one.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, arguably, this is a way better one.
Yeah, look at that
now
one.
that to me is instantly better because you've got a very nice layout of the library there. It's tiled. Take note.
Take note. Yes.
Is this grey dude? Does he have is this the grey dude with torso print?
Yeah, it's meant to be. I assume it's meant to be.
He's got glasses. Giles. I think he's got names.
Yeah.
Giles. There. This one's got names.
Yeah.
So we can see who they are.
Angle.
Okay.
Who's Angle?
Just let me think of Hot Fuzz. Nicholas Angle.
That's great. Yeah, sorry, I never watched this show, but
I do know this one because what's her face? She was on American Pie and How I Met Your Mother.
Hagen. Or Alison Hannigan.
Oh yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Defeated vampire. Yes. This gets my vote. Why has this not been made?
It's just
why was this one not picked? If you're gonna pick one,
know.
Yeah, I feel like this one is a better build.
Maybe
even
the
the
other
presentation
one
of it.
Maybe the other one is a better play set. I don't know.
I like it. I mean, I don't know what this is, but this gives me Beetlejuice vibes.
Maybe this picture is probably what did it.
Oh, because it's got like death and stuff, and
the depiction of the violence.
Okay.
I mean, they've done Lego graveyards before, haven't they? So
yeah.
Okay. Well, great.
But that's lovely. Yeah. There is some really good stuff in here, and
I can't
just looking at it. You sit there and go, I could spend all day just looking at.
Again, like none of the there are none of these that I look at and go, ew. I mean,
none of these I look at and go, well, that's shit. They're all good builds.
They're all
there are different levels to that, but they're all
The Beavis and Butthead one right there, that looks hilarious. Edward Scissorhands, yeah. Oh, using little clips as grass. That's great.
That's clever.
That is clever. Okay. Well, these were all very. Oh, a Cowboy Bebop swordfish. No way. Hell yeah. Cowboy Bebop. I love that. Love that show. One of the few animes I can watch all the way through.
I love how many Independence Day ones there are.
I know. Honestly, Independence Day should have been on that top because, like, I am fully aware of how bad and cheesy that movie is. But if that informed,
I refuse to believe that wasn't on purpose. Though I feel like it's heavily tongue in cheek. I don't think that they would go in.
No. Have you seen Roland Emmerich's other movies? He was
true.
He was dead serious this entire time. It's just a matter of It was
He's
like
not even American either, which is funny.
It's just like this confluence of cheesiness and 90s just unapologetic, just go for itness. I don't know what to call that, but like
there's another Buffy library.
There's another Buffy library.
I mean, I will say this one, it doesn't feel like it's got the content in terms of Easter eggs that the other one does.
No, but I think there's three here on various scales for a start, isn't there?
Yeah.
Our first one we saw was more a bigger playset. Then the next one had a little less space but more minifigures and a bit more detail into it. And that one's just tried to make it a little bit smaller as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are a lot of these other ones that I would prefer over the ones that have been chosen.
Red Dwarf. Oh my days. Get that up on screen, Kragle. Oh, look at that.
I mean that's kind of tenuous in a way because Red Dwarf debuted in the 80s, not the 90s.
It did, you're right.
But it It was in the 90s.
It was
It-
in the
yeah.
90s and the noughties
Yeah,
and the 2010s and 2020s.
Okay.
it kept going.
Yeah.
It is a gorgeous set.
Yeah.
I really like that.
And this is one of those ones. This is one of those ones where I actually wish I had watched it while it was coming out, but it was also really hard to find here in the States.
I don't think you do because there was so many years in between series.
Yeah,
or
and that's what I
seasons,
kept
if you
hearing
will.
about it. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
kept hearing about it. It's like, it's great. You have to remember there's like 10 years in between each series, so.
This is another Fifth Element one, which is
Oh, that's clever.
it's
They've
quite
done it,
clever.
like-
They've got
it's
these
quite-
little dioramas inside each of the stones for the
Yeah.
4 elements.
Yeah, you
I think
remember
that's
it's
great.
like the Tales of the Space Age.
Yeah.
They even got the
set
blues
they've done.
singer lady.
Yeah, that's very clever.
No. Keep going, Kragle. You're only
You got
making
it.
fun of yourself.
Fuck you. Look how they did Ruby Rod's hair.
That's what the other one is missing. Ruby Rod. You need Ruby Rod in there.
I just want to go watch Fifth Element now.
Corbin Dallas. I can't even do his voice. Oh God, that movie's so weird.
And this
I
is
love it.
I'm dying for when they're finally going to make a Wallace and Gromit Lego set.
Oh yeah,
I'm not saying this should be the one, but
it looks
Yeah.
great.
we need a Wallace and Gromit set. Come on now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
There's Wayne's
Contact. Yeah, Wayne's
Dinosaurs. Do you remember that?
Oh yes!
Did you guys-
Wow.
Did you guys watch this when you were kids?
Yeah.
The final episode of this show was the darkest TV show I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It literally ends with the world ending.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. Anyway,
Nightmares now.
I never
Yeah.
saw it on TV, the episode. I don't remember them airing the final over here. It just
I
kind
do.
of went off screen, but I've seen it since, and yeah.
it's pretty dark. Contact was another one of my favorite movies from the 90s, and yeah.
Now see, this one looks...
Holy
This is-
cow.
So they must be able to do... This is a Brick Project. He did 2
Yeah.
Jumanji ones. This one is
Okay.
just the house. So it's
Yeah.
almost like a Home Alone, the Home Alone set?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I was about to
Come
say
on.
that. This reminds me a lot of the Home Alone set.
Yeah.
Do you know what? In some ways, I would have preferred this over the board
Yeah.
game one. I get the appeal of the board game one, but
Yeah. Absolutely.
I was going to say the board game one definitely comes as some sort of comes as a little bit gimmicky
yeah.
because you got that fact that you can open it up and you get something else, which is not a bad thing at all because that's quite a cool. That's its feature,
Yeah.
if you will. Whereas this has that, like you say, that more style like the Home Alone set, which gives you
Yeah.
that potentially
Like a
that more
dollhouse.
playability
Yeah.
with it.
Huh.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
So you could not only could you submit more than one project, you can submit more than one project based on the same IP.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I just remembered my favorite scene in Jumanji was when the monkeys get in the police car and they're just kind of going amok in the police car, and one of them just grabs onto the shotgun that's in its holster and just goes and then blows the roof off the car. I don't know why that was so funny to me.
Guys, we have another Buffy the Vampire
Oh my
Slayer
God.
library.
Oh my God. There is obviously some people out there who really like Buffy.
Yeah.
Or they just like reading.
I mean, yeah, it's all of the library.
Yeah.
I think this
It's
is
just-
better than the one that got picked.
Yeah. Is this why there were so many fans of Firefly? Not that Firefly wasn't, standalone a really decent show.
Firefly was amazing and should
Yeah.
have continued on forever.
It had at the very least deserved a second season to either justify itself or
Else.
just
Yes.
or biff it really bad. It deserved to have a second season to prove.
I am a leap on the wind Watch me soar.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, I
we
saw
got, we
them.
got Serenity, as kind of basically to replace the second
Yeah.
season of Firefly. I'm just
You know,
looking
I
at this other Jumanji build where the house literally splits in two, and I'm just thinking, wow,
That's a
That's
really,
freaking mega.
that's a
that
good
is.
one.
this would look amazing as a display piece. And
Oh,
that
wow.
lion is better as well.
Yeah. I'm sorry. This is a
There you
better
go, look.
Jumanji set. Yep.
There's
Yep.
Joe's scene. The monkeys
Just
in the police
blow,
car.
blow the roof off the car, and you got it.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I can see this one not getting built though, because it has the same sort of problem as the Edward Scissorhands one, is that it's almost too big. It's too much
Yeah.
of like a display mock as opposed to an actual set, But kudos though, that is a
Yeah.
good looking build.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Well, we've seen pretty much everything here now, I think.
There's
yeah.
a fourth
It's-
library.
There's
What?
another tailspin.
Scroll back up.
Oh my
There you go.
god.
Oh my
Is
god!
anyone
there's
keeping
another
count of how many
library.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer libraries we've seen now?
So I get this feeling that they chose that library scene simply because there were so many
So
of them, and they're
many.
like, they just like rolled the dice and said, "Okay, this one, we'll take this one."
Yeah.
It's not really the best
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I don't care.
Wow.
Are you gonna look through all of them?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
there are some fantastic builds on here. Adam's Family. I would love Adam's Family set.
I'm seeing a lot of Forrest Gumps. I'm seeing a lot of Adam's Family. I'm seeing a lot of One Piece. There's a lot
Buffy
of
the
One Piece.
Vampire Slayer libraries.
But-
Yeah.
All right, people. Jumanji, One Piece.
I will say, funny enough,
Animaniacs.
though, I've only seen a couple of Men in Black ones, and
No, there
Yeah,
there
they-
were a few Men in Black ones, but
was that?
yeah, I've seen a
They
few.
were of different scenes though. One was
Again,
on
I need to
Kay's
go back-
car.
Yeah, Mission Impossible. That looks cool. I need to go back to the steampunk spider from Wild Wild West.
Okay, this one actually. is pretty
Nobody
cool.
has nostalgia for Wild Wild West.
No. Wild Wild West was like, posited as the follow up to Men in Black. It's going to be basically Men in Black but in
Yeah.
the Old West, and it was terrible.
No, it was rubbish.
This is
All right.
actually. I love the build for Edgar the Bug there.
Yeah,
That is actually a really
that's
good
nice.
build.
Edgar. Sugar in water. More.
Yeah, this was nice. This would have been a good
Yeah.
set.
I have
Yeah.
to point out what David said in chat. A Lego scrunchie probably would win. This hands down. Nothing more 90s than a hair
What was it, a
scrunchie.
choker?
Yes. Yeah, a choker. Oh man, I'm sorry. I still really think chokers are hot, but that's probably just me.
Yeah, Joe thinks choker is an instruction rather than a piece of clothing.
Oh, dear.
What'd you say? Bones is a,
A
is
verb.
a verb?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit ashamed myself not jumping on this sooner, but I'm glad we had a look
Yeah.
at this because there has been some fantastic builds, and definitely
Okay.
it has hit the nostalgia. And really, to anyone who submitted something, there's nothing here that I look at that I go, "Oh my god, what were you thinking?" They're all decent
Yeah.
builds.
They're all
And,
decent. They're
they
all
are.
great.
I think if we were to go down the line, which one of these we hope will get made, Joe?
I'm gonna say I hope. I'm gonna say I hope something Fifth Element gets made, but that's just like a pie in the sky. Second vote for hope would be X-Files, but the one I think is going to be made is Jumanji.
Okay. Sam, which
Yeah.
ones do you hope will get made and which ones do you think will get made?
See, I hope the X-Files will get made.
Yeah.
But I also think Jumanji will get made.
Ooh. Okay. Kragle.
I'm going to say the same. Much as I love The Fifth Element, and it is one of the films I absolutely adore,
It's
in terms
yeah.
of what I want to have as a Lego set, the X-Files just nips
Yeah.
past it
Ticks
a little
every
bit. So I would hope the X-Files, but I think it is going to be Jumanji.
Yeah. AJ brings up a really good point. Which one of these properties is not owned by Disney?
Well, actually, X-Files is
think
now
this-
Disney. isn't it? Because
Is
it wasn't
it?
X-Files. Wasn't X-Files 20th Century Fox?
It
Yeah,
was.
X-Files was Fox.
And Fifth
Buffy was
Element
the same.
was Pathé. I want to say. Who owns Pathé now?
Oh, Buffy's on Paramount.
Okay. Don't give Paramount any more money. I'm just kidding.
Hey, give Paramount more money because they made Sonic the
I know.
Hedgehog 3 and it was awesome, and we want Sonic the Hedgehog 4.
And honestly, I hear they're doing good things with Star Trek. Lower Decks was really fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, Walt Disney owned the Fifth Element as well.
Oh, there
It
you
was
go.
a Buena Vista. It was
Oh,
Gaumont,
Buena
Buena
Vista.
Vista International, which I think was, I swear it was released under Pathé over here.
Huh.
Is that one on all? I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, that's British Path or Pathé. Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
it's the one with the little
Jumanji,
chicken. There's a logo, isn't
Jumanji
it?
is owned by Sony,
Oh. Okay.
and
Mm.
Edward
It's Disney.
Scissorhands. I
Is
think
that
Edward
Disney?
Scissorhands was Fox. Yes, so Edward Scissorhands is Disney. This is
So-
the problem now with Disney buying up so much now. It's like, you look at this and they own,
Everything.
like, is it 4 or 3 out of these? You say,
so they
Buffy,
own-
you say it's on Paramount, didn't you? So they own
Yeah.
3 out of the 5.
Wow. All right. Well, I guess Disney owns our childhood, I guess. I don't know. So, I wanted to show you this, Kragle. I grabbed
dear.
because I thought we were going to talk more about like 90s building sets. I grabbed a few of my 90s building sets. This right here is what is left of my erector set. It is an erector set. That is what it is called. And I can't remember what you said this was called in Europe, but you know,
Meccano?
Meccano, yeah.
Something like that.
It's actually branded Meccano,
Yeah.
but here it's branded as the erector set. So I just thought you'd find that funny.
Erector is
might
what,
need-
it's basically Erector is what Skeletor calls himself when he takes his Viagra.
I might need to adjust my statement about Buffy. It's not just on Paramount; it's also on Disney.
It is on
Seems
Disney,
it's-
is it?
It seems a split share between the two.
So they do literally have a stake in 4
no.
out of the 5 IPs in the final
no.
vote. Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, good
Disney's
job.
coming out on top.
And the only one that isn't owned by Disney is Jumanji, which is the one we thought was going to get made.
That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Right
Well-
then, let's bring this to a
Screeching
close. We've almost come to the hour and a half minute, so
Oh,
it's
boy.
time, gentlemen, to plug your pluggables. Joe, you go first.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Joe from Skylab Bricks, if you don't know already. You can check me out on Instagram. I'm always posting my weird rocket stuff and Star Wars stuff, and I am looking forward to releasing a 33,000 piece instructions for a 33,000 piece Saturn V MLV launch tower and launch pad. It is a something that NASA was going to build in the 60s and 70s to supersize the Saturn V. That's going to come out in about a week, so I'm working furiously on it. Come see me on Rebrickable and on my Etsy site while you can, because I might be just moving over to Rebrickable. Come see my wares and sundries. I have a lot of really crazy stuff that you can build. Also, don't try the Mountain Dew hard seltzer. This is an anti-plug. Don't try it. It's mediocre at best. Anyway, that's all for me.
I've got a question for you, Joe.
Yes, sir. Yes.
How are you getting on with those 10 YouTube videos you promised everyone? And if you didn't get it done, you said you were going to send out some sets of the Saturn
you
5
see,
MLV.
I may have misspoken because I had a kidney stone and I was just screaming things that came to mind. Which is why I sounded different a couple weeks ago on the cast. Is I was on the floor over here writhing, and it might have looked like I looked different, but I was literally writhing on the floor right there. So I might have said things I didn't mean.
I don't know. Okay, I'll let you have that.
Sam, you have the floor.
Yes, I'm Sam. I'm the Brickkeeper. You can find all my wares and sundries, including instructions for this lovely TARDIS blue box, the Stargate Dirt Farm, the Dalmatian penis, also known as the Black Arrow, all on my Etsy store, as well as finding instructions and parts. A full set of the 10th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver. So check it out, have a look. Also, make sure that you follow along with this podcast. So like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Your support is greatly appreciated, as always. Check us out on Instagram and tune in to wherever you get your podcasts during the week as well, because this is where we're going to be.
And if you want to see what my Saturn V MLV looks like, Sam has it right behind him. That giant
white erection.
Yes, the giant phallic symbol.
Yeah.
Kragle.
Hello, I am Kragle. You can find me on YouTube under Cut the Kragle, although I haven't put any content on there for a while.
Should I just make content for your channel?
I'd rather you didn't. So content, if you're new to this place, my daughter is still currently in intensive care, so that's why content is very scarce at the moment. But you can also go to my website, cutthekragle.com, where you can buy little custom plastic people designed with inspiration from popular characters, shall we say. I'm going to say no more about that, but check that out. You can also follow me on Instagram. I tend to post more on there because at the moment it's easier to do an Instagram post or story than it is to do a whole video for YouTube. I am hoping to get back to YouTube, but unfortunately my little girl's had a few bumps on her journey along the way. So obviously that's my priority, but the store is still open. I'm still shipping out orders at least once a week. And please go and check out my stuff.
Absolutely.
Right, gents.
Okay.
It's been emotional.
Yeah.
Got one more thing I'd like to say.
Uh-huh.
I'd just like to take this time to congratulate Joe on not mentioning the fact of his job once in a stream. Well done, Joe. You survived an entire stream without mentioning your job.
Yeah, because I'm an electrical engineer.
God
damn it. So, I apologize. I'm very I worked very hard to get to that point, and so I'm just like
He's fallen off the wagon.
I know.
And I'd like to thank everyone who has watched this live. David Austin, Jack Ratz, Mrs. Kragle, Jacob Neely. There was some other people I saw in the chat.
We got
MC
Cameron.
Meisner, someone. Yep. I don't know. But anyway, you're all very much appreciated. And thank you if you're listening to this as a podcast. Yeah. And we don't know when the next one will be. Who's hosting the next one? Whose turn is it? I
guess it's my turn next time.
It's Joe's.
It's Joe's. Oh.
It will be. I think next time we will actually be building miniature kidney stones out of Lego. So we could talk about how horrifying they are. Oh, God. Anyway, thanks for joining, everyone.
Yes, thank you all for joining us. Remember to follow the podcast on social media. And until next time, remember, we still don't have a catchphrase. Bye.
Maybe stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. That's our catchphrase.